You are given 300 million to make a movie, but it has to bomb at the box office or else you die. What do you make? I make an animated movie with my friends and call it Doggy Style. We voice all the characters and make it more raunchy and less politically correct than Sausage Party. The main storyline is about an old male dog with a small dog who can't find work. He finds a niche porn fetish for small peepees and goes for an audition. He makes it so big in the industry that he moves to banging normal porn stars. Adriana Barkick, Peter Jensen, Dillian Barker, Christy Snack, Janice Woofith, etc. You get the idea. I then pay 100 million from that budget to foreign agents to call in threats to anyone seeing the movie opening weekend. No one goes to see it. I'll live. And it probably becomes a cult classic after its DVD/Blu-ray release due to all the controversy. Live action UGA movie with real-time guard matches, no CGI and official rule with current ban list. Half the movie is just deck building. Take $295 million as the exec producer and make the movie with amateurs and filmed on a cell phone. Filmed vertically on the cell phone too. Filmed vertically, but rotated and shown horizontally in theaters, so the viewers have to tilt their heads the whole time. Something with a 10+ hour runtime. An enormously complicated storyline. No particular actors of note and a trailer that's full of long dead jokes. Do the characters spend the first 45 seconds of the trailer screaming WhatsApp at one another? That could easily fill the first 45 minutes of the movie. Soundtrack for the first 45 minutes. Chumbawamba rap covers, soundtrack for next 45. Ace of Base classic rock covers, rest of film. Supergroup comprised of both bands covering 80s commercial jingles. Moving the dot, the story of the Dewey Decimal System. Looks like I'm totally going to die. Everyone is interested in seeing this movie. Coming this summer, it's the sequel nobody asked for, and nobody wanted. Super Mario Bros. 2. Same cast, same plot, guest starring Scarlett Johansson as Birdo. Well, shit, now I have to watch it. Yup, I'd watch it too. Stupid sexy Birdo. I remember a Twitter post saying recreate the Twilight movies, but instead of Robert Pattinson as Edward, it's Kanye West, except he doesn't know he's an actor in the movie, so I'd probably do that. You'd absolutely die. Seriously, who the fuck would not see that in theaters? Kanye would purchase a theater and show nothing but this movie on all 16 screens. A live action adaptation of another manga/anime/cartoon. Live action adaptation of Wall-E, starting a Roomba with a store-bought Valentine's Day heart antenna, in my house, supporting actor of me, sitting in my chair playing Switch being a fat piece of shit. Sound like Shia LaBeouf's next experimental art blockbuster right there, starring a Roomba. Shot by another Roomba with a camera taped to it. A buddy road trip movie that takes place in the Rwandan genocide, and then they go back in time for some reason. Hotel Rwanda, starring Will Smith, being attacked by Hutu extremists with a flamethrower. Ah, that's hot. That's hot. The not a flamethrower by the Boring Company. Guy buys $300 million worth of stuff. The motion picture already did it. It was called Brewster's Millions and it did $45 million at the box office in 1985. Way too successful. Live action K-Lao. How to nuke a child actor's career right out of the gate 101. That's why it costs $300 million. He'll never work again and will probably have to be placed in witness protection. Or make it obnoxiously CGI so there's no actors involved. But still outrageously expensive. FF spirits within anyone. Nah, gotta do a live action actor for K-Lao and then really bad CGI animated characters for literally everyone else. The Last Airbender 2, with the same cast and everything, except that Iroh is completely cut from the story and Appa has been replaced with a regular donkey. Ayush Shyamalan come to finish the job of killing any hope we had for that movie, that we don't talk about in polite company. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a struggling elderly man whose life dream is to be a party clown. He eventually becomes a clown and everyone is terrified of him. I would watch that. Yeah, this sounds like something that would be winning awards at Sundance or Cannes. Did we just crack the secret of good unique movie making? By trying to think of a horrible idea, we are creating gold here. It's the opposite of trying too hard to be good and it comes across as try hard and sucks ass. This thread is fucking genius. Another Robin Hood movie no one asked for. Christopher Robin Hood. He steals from Pooh and his friends and gives to himself. He steals from the rich and gives to the Pooh. Christopher Robin the Hood, a movie about a small, posh, English boy trying to rob people in the hood. He gets killed 45 seconds in. Paul Blart time traveling through history on a Segway solving all the world's past wrongs. Paul Blart stops WW1, WW2, 9/11, Columbine, his original movies etc. Paul Blart, Time Cop. Even a broken cop is right twice a day. It's perfect, genuinely perfect. I can't actually see a flaw at all. Can someone contact the creators or the man himself? It is perfect because Paul Blart kept going back to fix any mistakes. Kevin Spacey playing a guy accused of sexual assault but is innocent. I'd have Harvey Weinstein producing it and playing a cameo of himself. Kevin Spacey as Jimmy Savile in a biopic about how he was really innocent the whole time. Narrated by Bill Cosby, soundtrack by R. Kelly. I feel like everyone would go and see that. Music by Chris Brown. It'll be a hit. No idea yet, but it will take at least 50 years to make it. I get the money up front. Right. Boyhood 2, Manhood. Boyhood 2, The Manning, starring Eli Manning. Monopoly the movie starring Kevin Hart and the Rockers billionaire brothers that are trying to destroy each other's real estate empires not realizing the true real estate empire is that of the heart. I could see this being made. An urban reimagining of A Clockwork Orange starring Jaden Smith as Alex DeLarge. Funnily enough, a friend and I once sneaked into a fancy downtown Philadelphia party that happened to be a bunch of movie and music and television people. We were dressed okay for us but we stuck out as disgusting among such fancy and rich people. When people asked us what we did in the business we'd say screenwriters and my friend gave the answer above. It earned a lot of strange yet thoughtful looks so if this abomination gets made in a few years, sorry. The trick is, hire legit good writers and good actors and film a great movie for $290 million. Then make a terrible recut of the film using bad takes, stand-ins for the famous actors, leaving out important plot points, using test versions of the CGI footage, crappy stock music on synthesizers, etc. Put this version in the theaters under a dumb name, without doing any advertising and watch it bomb. Then a year later you can spend the remaining $10 million to put the good version of the film, with the right title, in theaters. Make back your $300 million and more in revenue so this whole exercise hasn't been a dumb waste of time. I've always wanted to make a monster movie about numbers. It's called Countdown to Apocalypse and I already made 3D models of the monsters. The plot is that the army's arithmetic division opens a portal to the dimension of value. They find out that the shapes of our number symbols were actually based off of gods. These number monsters escape into our world and cause havoc, eventually. One number fork which is between 6 and 7 gets destroyed by the military. The number is erased from reality, changing all math equations and thus closing the portal. Now our heroic scientist team must find a way to send the monsters home without destroying them. In addition, we find out that the act of counting powers up these creatures every time their number is said out loud. This causes them to multiply and divide. Normally the boost is minor, but there's just one problem. It's New Year's Eve and the countdown is about to begin. Rated R. 3 hours of Java programming with an anxious stoned guy, that's the title. Will it include 45 minutes of him re-googling the same question different ways to figure out how to do something in Java to find out that he could do it simply with standard library features? Add an hour of reading Stack Exchange where all the problems are solved by the OP saying never mind, I figured it out, thanks, with no solution being posted. It's gotta be a movie that's emotionally and physically impossible to watch. A guy has a shit life and is a ripe cunt to the only people in his life who are nice to him, like his sweet old grandmother with terminal cancer who makes him soup every day, the nice checkout girl who's making small talk with him and seeing if he's okay etc. A cute dog that follows him to and from work. He wins the lottery 10 minutes into the movie and spends the next 80 fucking with these poor souls in horrifying and expensive ways below the budget on elaborate sets and props, like convincing the grandma she has dementia with elaborate scenarios using paid actors and chaining the dog up almost within reach of some tasty food. The audio will go between needlessly quiet to ear-splittingly loud and back again constantly to induce nausea. A mild green filter will be on the entire film. It'll also be constantly warping almost imperceptibly. Someone sitting in a room and counting the $300 million bills, but every now and then he loses count and has to start over. LMAO, this is the best one. Every time he loses count, he has to say things like up, balloon, or gosh darn it, and preferably be sweating lightly or something as well. An adaptation of To Kill Mockingbird that is about a spy named Mockingbird, played by Leslie Jones, and all the people trying to kill her. She'd have a CGI sidekick who is an anthropomorphic bird named Finch, voiced by Amy Schumer, and it wouldn't be a comedy. Alien invasion, tomato monster, Mexican Armada brothers who are just regular brothers running an van from an asteroid, and all sorts of things. The movie, just two brothers. It's just called To Brothers. You have to make it extremely generic and not appealing. Anything too ridiculous will garner people watching it just to dick around. So I'd call it The Man with a Plan. It's a generic action movie, star a bunch of no-name actors. They have to stop a Russian mob boss from bombing the home of the main character. The main character has one character trait, being a dad. 2.5 hours of the loudest, most piercing screams over experimental noise music with a black screen that flashes the words fuck you every 20 seconds. I could make that for free. Keep the 300 mil as pure profit. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, one lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.